Did you know that people who are creating amplifiers, they do need to eat as well?
Ah.
No, finish it, no worry. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Blug. You know him already because he was in Warsaw
Yeah.
a couple of months ago, weeks ago. I don't remember. Time
was-
goes by.
Yeah.
So this is the real thing, and this is the real thing.
Yeah, this is my 68 Les Paul that has been converted to a 57 spec. I cannot afford a 57 these days, they are too expensive, but this is a pretty good guitar with all the tweaks that people know. It's an original early 60s bridge. And there's a special wood connection.
Exactly. What is that?
Well, the bridge itself has only contact in the standard way with two studs and the screws. But the bridge itself is curved, and actually you can hear that some notes are not rather dead notes compared to other ones. And so this kind of wood connects the bridge to the top.
Because I can see there's like maple mixed with mahogany, mixed with mahogany, and there's only mahogany.
Exactly. And it's crazy, but it makes a difference. And it even makes a difference if you put this piece of wood there.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were trying to figure it out you had like lots of them, and is it ultimate already, or
it is what I like for this guitar. Mm-hmm. And of course the body and the neck has a certain resonance and whatever issue with it, it has ups and downs, or pros and cons. And for me it's like I try to max out the tone for myself. And so these kind of wedges, combination of these different wedges were...
How long did it take you to figure it out?
I have done it together with the guy that actually came up with the idea. Mm-hmm. And it's Professor Peter Weyer. And he is actually... he owned a 58 Burst that Ronnie Montrose played. So he got tons of money for that guitar, and then his spare guitar was a long journey, and this journey was also including this guitar, which he had as an option to buy. But this guitar, he said this is the best for Thomas, so he was recommended for it. And this guy is actually the real expert when it comes to that. I know what tone I want. It's slightly different from his personal approach. So we together choose the best solution for this guitar in my style.
And then as well, the saddles on the bridge are a little bit different than original, because that one is twisted, I can see.
Yeah, that's
they are cut as well.
Yeah, this is it is an old bridge, and I had to get it as it was, and this was is not the best condition. But it sounds good,
and you don't want to swap it to another one because you're afraid that you will lose the sound.
It is like the sound is right now. I'm happy, and never change a real good running system. So that's my Les Paul, right?
All right.
And by the way, the paint job it was originally ugly like this here too. This is why this white and whatever, somebody painted that guitar, and I always wanted a gold top, and this. Paint job is done by a German guy called Matthias Schindelhütte, who's right next to here.
So it's repainted.
It's repainted.
Okay.
It looks pretty good, I think.
It looks real.
It looks so real that if you are the expert, you can probably tell. But if you have no super expertise, it's so authentic. I couldn't tell you really. And I have a lot of original vintage guitars when I test them and play them for a YouTube channel called The World of Vintage Guitars. Mm-hmm. And they gave me all the 59s and the 57s and whatnot. And this looks like one of them.
Like one of them. Okay, and then we go to your... Oh, there's ESP as well.
I have a lot of
And he's just putting it like that, without any stand, without anything. It's like he doesn't really care about it.
It works.
It works. and that's the Strat.
That's my 61 Strat. That's my all-time favorite guitar. You see the wear is coming from myself, from my hands, from my sweat. You can tell that I like to play here, 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 and there. And you can tell how my fingers are moving, actually. So that's my story.
And then you got all this mess here,
Yeah,
which we talked about before.
People complain about that, but I cleaned the guitar not too long ago, and it's getting dirty again. This is like 1 year, and it looks like that. And
after a year, it looks like that. So you play like with all the energy you have, and you burn yourself on the guitar, really.
This is what I do, and it's like, as you could see, I'm not taking care, like super care of things. I have only a gig bag with that because it's practical, and sometimes I even put 2 Strats in my one gig bag, back to back, no problem. It all works, and but what happens is. As I'm sweating a lot, and sometimes it's humidity, and the dirt simply sticks on the guitar. That it happens.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but I was laughing if your signature guitar is created to be like that as well, and someone is creating a technology to make it dirty from day one. Yeah.
I show you. Wait a minute.
And that's your Blug guitar.
Yeah, this is my spare guitar.
This is a copy made by Trev Wilkinson. Am I right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is a combination of Trev Wilkinson, Andreas Kloppmann, and my niece. My niece did the aging, and we came up with the dirt.
From the ashtray, I remember good.
Yeah, it's ashtray and a mixture of different. From the vacuum cleaner, probably whatever works. And they put it there because it was looking so clean. And this is how it looked. How this guitar looks like.
Let's say you give it to some kind of serviceman or the luthier.
Yeah.
And actually, he cleans it all off, and he gives you like
a shiny new look.
Would you kill him?
Well, I can always apply the same dirt again. I just
after a year, it's gonna be the same. Okay, gotcha.
By myself, or if I need it instantly, I call my niece and let her do the
She's got the
aging.
technique. What's that ESP here? What is this?
This is a nice guitar that actually belongs to Alex Beiroth. It's his signature model. Alex Beiroth is a good friend of mine and a German hard rock metal player. And we are we go back from the same age, like 40 years, and we swapped guitars once. So he has one of my signature models, and I have his signature model. So I have
Dear visitors,
ESP.
the exhibition is now closing. Please feel free to attend the concerts in the Mozart Hall on the ground floor.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So this guitar
is it under the lucky?
Yeah, it's under.
Okay.
Jetzt wird's Zeit, dass ihr mal rein ganget. Ganget runter ins Erdgeschoss. Da gibt's noch Party bis um 11 Uhr. Danke, dass ihr da wart. Das war der Karle vom Seitenbacher.
Okay, this goes back to anyway. So this guitar is like a super Strat that I like.
All Japanese ESP super Strat.
Nice neck, little bit of scalloping up the neck, but not scalloped up to the 9th fret.
Anyway, it's like from the 9th fret, so it's a long scalloping actually. It's not a little bit scalloping. Okay, let's go to the amplifiers. Because first of all, you've created. Finally, it's there.
Yeah, it's there, but it's not being sold, and it's not finished. It's
okay.
I have prototype. I think. Well, no, I'm sure this is number 6. So we are working on this, and this is already the 6th.
Can we take it here, or do we need to move the camera?
I can take it there. See here.
So that's the 6th prototype.
Yeah. Well, I'm not in numbers, but. We redesigned this amp already 6 times because this is all analog, and it's all analog amps, and it can be any amp. So this is like analog modeling. This is like having the flexibility of a modeler, but done in analog. And it took so long because we started with some vintage sounds, made that sound right. We improved it, we added extra things, then we went on and we had some medium sound gains and high gain sounds, and every discipline needs extra things.
What was the hardest?
The hardest, everything is hard if you are a perfectionist. So for me, the hardest, I think the most exciting thing on this amp is that I finally have a fully cranked Marshall sound at any volume with the real action and feel of the power amp saturation. And this is absolutely next level. Nobody is doing that unless you have the real deal old amp, and this is not usable these days, it's simply too loud. But this machine does it. And it's so important for me for the feel, because that's my reference of anything.
That's the thing that you were looking for many years. From last interview, I know that actually you've built yourself a special cave on your or in your attic just to create it, and now you're trying to close it in the smallest cavity you can.
And when you look at this backdrop here, you can actually see. There is everything, wah-wah pedals.
I love this.
Yeah.
Blugi. Mesa Blugi.
The Blugi sign was on a Mesa Boogie copy that I have done as a teenager. And so this was kind of me putting a logo on it. This was my copy, because I was playing a Mesa Boogie MK2B in stereo one day. So I bought the original Mesa Boogie, and then I kind of tuned a copy that was shit to my specs and made this the second Mesa Boogie, calling it Blugi.
Blugi, beautiful idea, man. And then we have amplifiers with, that's so light actually.
This is 100 watt.
100 watt, and it's so light.
And it's actually nanotube, so it's a tube amp, all analog, and it's doing the job of a multi-channel tube amp head, and I put it in the pedal format because this sits nicely on the pedal board. There's like two magnetic rings that can be attached to our easy locks, we call it, which is like neodymium magnets, so you don't have to use Velcro. So you,
really?
Yeah, you put the neodymium magnets on the pedal board.
On the pedal board.
And then you can have that on the pedal board and you can take it off.
Wow, so simple and so good actually, okay. And nobody else is doing it, okay.
So looking at this, these both are 4-channel amps. This is called the Mercury Edition. It's an amp that has all the classic sounds, Fender Clean, my Plexi, British sounds, then the JSAM 800 style channel, then the modern, which is more blugy style.
And then we got like more high gain stuff, because it's black, so I thought it's gonna be for metal.
Exactly, it's for metal, but in general it's the more modern sounding amp. It's a little bit tighter, it's a bit more focused, and some people that are even playing classic rock like that. It has something to do also with how you play the guitar. So this is for the old school guys with the old school feel and touch, and this is the more modern version, and this goes to, let's say, 80s hair metal, and this can go to the darkest and lowest
black metal and things like that,
and classic rock too. So they have kind of an overlapping range, but this goes to the one side extremely, and this goes to the other side kind of extremely.
But from the other side. So actually, you need both of them.
Yeah.
Combine them all together. What's here on the side of it?
Yeah, this is what I call the custom controls. These are little trim pods that I can use to tweak all the channels. So when I'm like in clean channel, I can kind of dial in if it's a silver face, if it's a black face or a tweed sound, and you can blend from one to the other. Then there is a tone for the classic channel, and this gives you a control of the sizzle in the 800 world. Some people want that meatier sound, other people want that more aggressive sound. Maybe you would call it scoop, but I can scoop it with this EQ too, but it's a character thing that happens here. And then in the modern channel, we can also have like a more mid-focused sound, or like a more Soldano-ish rock sound. And these controls also have the individual volumes. So when I switch between the channels, I can match the channels. So my clean sound, my crunch sound, they all are set with the right frequencies and volume.
What you mean? It's a tube amp with nano tube. What's that? It's not like
No.
ECC83. It's something else. What is that?
It's a sub-miniature tube that is a smaller version, like the last incarnation of tubes that have been produced, not kind of going on with the old design. And these are way more reliable, so they have a lifespan that we will not reach. So we will be dead, and the tube
Like
is
hundreds of years you're talking, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, if you probably play every day 24 hours, maybe your kid will have the amp, but but it's not hundreds of years. The other thing is we also use an auto bias thing, which makes the tube sound the same even when it's degrading a bit. So, and that tube is actually working the power amp stage. Power amp stage there because the feel is so important.
In the power amp,
Yeah.
in the power amp stage. So if you created those two,
Yeah.
why were you still because I thought it's already closed here. The sound of yours is already there.
Yeah, but I wanted to go.
What did you want to improve actually?
I wanted to have the full flexibility of the digital world, which means I can upload any amp, my own amps, and of course amps from other manufacturers. Somebody wants to have a specific Fender amp, or I can create anything on this. This is the platform for me for future amps as well.
So you can put your own amplifier inside of in what?
There's a USB-C stick, and this is all analog, and this section is digitally controlled, and the control data goes in here, and so I can update this to any amp, and by the way, any effect too. So when you look at this thing, I have different wah-wahs in there, and it's all analog. I have different boosters in there, I have different compressors in there, I have different.
Can I do it on my own if I got the amplifier, or is it like that you will make some kind of updates and stuff on your website that you can actually download?
Exactly.
That's the way. You will make it.
Yes, of course. And the only way to make it is me. It's not an automated process because I have to rebuild any amp, any effect on that platform from scratch. And that way I can assure that it's really the same as the original or very close to it. And it combines anything, pre-effects with delay, reverb, modulation, anything chorus, flanger, and stereo post effects. So this is like the whole universe. This is why I put it in my universe.
There will be a lot of work actually when you release this with, I don't know, like 15 amplifiers inside. You will have another 5 or 3 years or 6 years to build another ones.
So this is why it takes
You
so
like
long.
challenges, don't you?
Yeah, challenge. This is a challenge. and this platform here exists. We are working for, I think, 7 years already, kind of from the very beginning. And I will never change this hardware again, because when I change the hardware, all the sounds are obsolete. So this is why it takes so long until I release it, because then I can have this platform for my next 10 years. This is a long-term project in R&D and on the market. So this will never be outdated. We talk in 20 years in a different world, if this is still the one and only analog amp that is futuristic, because I see all the rest shrinking. Let's see. It's a big vision, Amp X.
I hope one day I will have a chance to check it out and use it when it's ready.
Exactly.
Let's wait for it. Let's wait when it's ready. And thanks for your time.
Always a pleasure.
I know that everybody wants to talk to you. There's like 3,000 people in front of us watching us doing this stuff now. No, but it was tired. The show was like making you tired, I'm pretty sure. Thanks a lot
Cheers.
for your time. Cheers.
Cheers. So, cool.